Today I will talk about probability sampling methods. So, what is the difference between census and sample? So, data which is collected from each and every member of the population is known as census, whereas the technique of collecting information from a portion of the population is called a sample. Population is the entire group for which the final statistical inferences are drawn. Population may be finite or infinite, whereas sample is small, manageable number of objects or individuals of the population from which data is collected. The sample is smaller but hopefully representative collection of units from a population used to determine truths about the population. Samples, especially probability samples, give results with known accuracy that can be calculated mathematically. What is sampling frame? Sampling frame is the list from which the potential respondents are drawn, and for a study on human subjects or biomedical research on human subjects, the sampling frame is obtained either from registrar office or it can be from class rosters for study on students, and we must assess sampling frame errors when we use sampling frame. What is the need for sampling? Sampling is required because entire population of interest may not be accessible, or taking entire population for study will be time consuming or costly or labor intensive. Since the sample is meant to represent entire population, its size should be adequate. So sample size should be adequate and the sample should be unbiased. So what are the factors that influence sample representativeness? It is the sampling procedure, sample size, and participation in case of study on human subjects. So when you can do census study, when we have population which is itself manageable and a small population, when we have extensive resources, and we need to take all the subjects when we don't expect a very high response. So this is the schematic diagram representing a sampling process. The bigger circle is the population, uh, and we want to study about the population. And in the population, we have a sampling frame. That is, we have a sampling frame of that population. And by using the sampling frame and uh, using various sampling methods, as I'll talk about shortly, we do sampling process and we get a sample which is a small manageable number of individuals or items, and we do observations on this sample, and based on the observations and analysis we draw inferences which are applied to the entire population. Sampling methods can be of two types. They can be either probability samples or non-probability samples. Today I'll talk about probability samples. Probability samples can be either simple random sample or simple systematic sample. They can be stratified random sample or they can be stratified systematic sampling. It can be a multi-stage sample or a multi-phase sample and a cluster sample. So I'll talk about all these in detail. So a probability sampling scheme is one in which every unit in the population has a chance, which is greater than zero, of being selected in the sample. And this probability can be accurately determined. So every unit or individual of the population have a chance of selection. The chance is greater than zero. When the chance is equal of selection, it is known as equal probability of selection. And the chance may not be equal in some of the sampling methods. So this is the summary of sampling process. First, we define the population of our concern. Then we specify a sampling frame. Then we specify the sampling method. I'll talk about sampling, various sampling, probability sampling methods shortly. Then we determine sample size. We have another separate lecture for sample size. Then we implement the sampling plan. Then we do the sampling and collect the data. And on the basis of analysis of data, we review the sampling process. So sampling can be without replacement or with replacement. For example, if we catch fish and collect data on that particular fish and immediately return that fish to the water and we continue the sampling. So there are chances that we may end up catching the same fish. So this is known as with replacement. And if we do not replace the fish in water, then it will be known as without replacement. So the first sampling method which I'll talk about is simple random sampling. In this, the scenario is that we have a homogeneous population. So if population is homogeneous, we can use simple random sampling. Here the desired number of objects are taken randomly. It is possible when complete list of individual is available. It can be done either by a lottery method or by the use of random number table. So this is the schematic representation of simple random sampling. The rectangle represents the population and these colored dot represent the items which are selected in sample. So these items are selected randomly. So in simple random sampling, estimates are easy to calculate, and a simple random sampling is always an equal probability sampling design because every item has a chance of selection which is equal. So what are the disadvantages? If sampling frame is large, this method is impracticable and minority subgroups of interest in population may not be represented in the sample in sufficient number. So this is in two-dimensional schematic diagram. We have drawn a rectangle representing a population. If we draw a linear uh, arrangement of the population, items of the population, and we take samples as these small squares, then this is a representation of simple random sampling because the gap between various individuals is not uniform because they are randomly selected. So if the population is homogeneous, like in our previous case, we can use systematic sampling. In systematic sampling, we start from a random point on a sampling frame. But after that random initial point, we select every nth element in the frame at equal intervals. And those intervals are known as sampling intervals. So the first object is selected at random and then where the other elements are selected uh, at equal intervals. It is also possible when complete list of individuals is available like in our simple random sampling. So this is a schematic diagram of systematic sampling. The rectangle represents our population and these colored dots represent the items which are selected. So after initial selection of initial item randomly, the other items are selected uh, at an equal interval. So this is a one-dimensional representation of the population. The squares are selected and the interval between various items which are selected is same, it is uniform. So there is periodicity and this actually have a disadvantage because if there is inherent periodicity in the sample, for example, if we are randomly taking male and female individuals and due to some reason males are standing at the equal intervals, so there may be a biasness in the sample which we take by the systematic method. So what are the advantages of systematic sampling? It is sample is easy to select. Suitable sampling frame can be identified easily. and the sample is evenly spread over the entire reference population. What are the disadvantages? I have already illustrated that sample may be biased if hidden periodicity in population coincide with that of the selection. So this is another scenario where the population is heterogeneous. So we cannot use previous two techniques here because the population is heterogeneous. In this scenario, we stratify the population depending on the heterogeneity. So elements within each strata are homogeneous but are heterogeneous across strata. So we divide the population into various strata, and in this the entire population is divided into subgroups of strata depending on the heterogeneity. So from each subgroup of strata, the samples are drawn at random or in a systematic manner in proportion to its size. So this is the representation of a population which is heterogeneous. There are two characteristics. One is colored blue, the other is colored orange. And we divide it into two strata because our characteristics is divided into two types. So then we take sample from both the strata. So we include all the strata here. And we can either take sample randomly or in a systematic manner. So there are certain drawbacks of using stratified sampling. First, the sampling frame of entire population has to be prepared separately for each stratum. We need a sampling frame of each stratum. This is in contrast to cluster sampling, which I will be talking a little later. Then second, when examining multiple criteria, stratifying variables may be related to some but not to others. This I have shown, in this example, I have shown one characteristic which has two types here. So if there are multiple criteria, then it will be difficult to stratify the population. So if there is a heterogeneous population with predefined or natural clusters, then we can use cluster sampling. So what is a cluster? So each cluster is a varied heterogeneous internally and homogeneous to all other clusters. So clusters are homogeneous as compared to each other, but internally they are heterogeneous. So this is used where cluster, what is a cluster? So cluster is a predefined or natural group in a population. In cluster sampling, the cluster are first chosen in a random fashion or in a systematic fashion. So we sample the clusters, and from inside the cluster, we measure all the items or individuals for data collection. So this is a schematic representation of our population which have these natural clusters or predefined clusters. We just need to select adequate number of clusters from all these clusters. All the clusters are not selected. We select some of the clusters, adequate number of clusters, and we measure the items in the entire cluster because inside the cluster there is heterogeneity. So we measure all the individuals inside the cluster. So what is the advantage of cluster sampling? It cut down on the cost of preparing a sampling frame because sampling frame is not required because we measure each and every item or individual in the cluster. And this can reduce travel and other administrative costs. So this type of sampling is used to evaluate the vaccination coverage and extended program of immunization of Government of India. So what is the difference between a strata and a cluster? So strata and clusters are both non-overlapping subsets of population. So they are non-overlapping subsets of population. But all strata are represented in the sample because we take sample from all the strata. But we select only few clusters for sampling. And uh, the strata are internally homogeneous, the clusters are internally heterogeneous. So these are the differences between strata and clusters. This is another type of sampling which is known as multi-stage sampling. Here the population is heterogeneous with groups and subgroups. So this is used for heterogeneous population when we have predefined groups as well as subgroups and sub-subgroups inside those groups and subgroups. So in multi-stage sampling, sample is collected over several stages. First, the sample of groups is taken. Then from the selected groups, subgroups are chosen and so on. So these are the groups inside our population, and these are subgroups inside the groups. So we first select some of the adequate and inadequate number, some of the groups from the population. And then from the selected groups, we select some of the subgroups. So this is done in various stages. In first stage, we select groups. Then in second stage, we select subgroups. So it is a kind of a multi-stage sampling. Now, this is another scenario when we need to uh, take data of multiple parameters. It is known as multi-phase sampling. So multi-phase sampling is done in various phases over the time period. In this, some information is collected from one sample, followed by other information from the relevant subgroup, and so on. This is one example I have taken from standard textbook. So, for example, in a tuberculosis survey, first in phase 1, we do Mantoux test. So, in Mantoux test, if it is positive, then there are chances that individual is having tuberculosis. So, among those Mantoux positive cases, we uh, select those uh, which have X-ray findings. So it is phase 2. Then of the X-ray positive cases, in phase 3, we select the sputum positive cases. So this is done in various phases. So such survey is less costly, less laborious, and more purposeful because we are as such reaching towards a targeted individuals or targeted individuals or sample. So selection of sampling method depend on various scenarios. First scenario is that the population is homogeneous. So we can either do simple random sampling or simple systematic sampling. The second scenario is that the population is heterogeneous. So we can do stratified random sampling or stratified systematic sampling. Third scenario is we have a heterogeneous population with clusters. So we can do cluster sampling. Then there is heterogeneous population with groups and subgroups. We can do multi-stage sampling. And in special circumstances, we can do multi-phase sampling and event sampling. Event sampling I have covered in a separate lecture. So this is all of for probability sampling. Thank you.